Hello, all my dear ones, who've returned to Oni-chan with such warmth. Today, Oni-chan is bringing you an anime that's absolutely thrilling and full of excitement. This film is sure to become a passion for so many hearts, and nothing else but the art of fishing itself. Oni-chan invites all you loves to enjoy a film that's captivating, with stunning fishing scenes that steal the show. Along with it comes a powerful message of resilience, pushing forward in life, my dear ones. If you're an angler out there, drop a comment below for Oni-chan to see. Let me spill a secret. Oni-chan loves fishing too, you know. Hey there, my love. The life of our main character Sasaki has been so tough, with nothing going his way. Even death eludes him, bad luck still clings on tight. He decides to end it all, but even suicide isn't possible for him. Bad luck keeps holding on. It seems living like this has no meaning left at all. Sasaki finds a letter in his room, then heads to the hospital for a checkup. Indeed, his future looks bleak. The doctor examines him and concludes he only has 2 years left to live. That summer, Sasaki learns he's facing his end. Since his life has been shrouded in darkness, enduring 2 more years doesn't matter much. Sasaki keeps living as before, diving into gambling games, about to leave when his creditors show up. The group wants him to step outside for a clearer talk. Just as he leaves, the spot he was at hits a big win. The creditors call to say he's won big, but in return, Sasaki's already run away. A moment later, he successfully escapes. He can't believe he's ended up in more debt again. He should have joined the high life, but borrowing just a little money led to this mess. With interest rates rising like this, how can he ever pay it back? He thinks maybe he doesn't need to pay, since he only has. Sasaki suddenly realizes he might not need to pay back, because he only has 2 years left anyway, so he decides to borrow even more freely. The creditors find him again, but one of them faints from exhaustion. Sasaki seizes the chance and runs away once more. He doesn't understand why his life is always full of failures. Sasaki is about to be caught when he climbs the stairs. Then, he falls straight into the river below. The current is so strong he can't swim at all. Indeed, everything for him feels utterly meaningless. He even wonders if this means he'll be reborn in another world, but this time, luck smiles on him. Sasaki is saved. He looks around and sees it's not a rebirth at all. The one who saved him is Takaaki, and the girl is Hana. The group was fishing and heard a big splash, thinking it was a huge fish and hoping for a jackpot. Instead, when they pulled up, it was Sasaki. Takaaki wears a life jacket to help him, but Sasaki doesn't care much and wants to leave immediately. Takaaki says it's far back to shore. Sasaki realizes this now, checks around, and finds himself in a place far from the city, called the offshore breakwater. This is seen as a paradise for fishers. Takaaki promises that after they finish fishing, he'll take him back. Sasaki has no choice but to wait. Hearing about fishing, he thinks it's just for old folks. But here, all kinds of people are around, and it seems they haven't caught anything yet. He thinks spending time at pachinko would give better chances of winning big, of his own. His technique is incredibly skilled. Sasaki turns and sees Hana. She's casting her fishing line. Her technique is incredibly skilled. Hana notices him watching her secretly. Sasaki feels completely flustered. Suddenly, Hana hands him the rod. It's almost dawn now. She says it's the time when even beginners can catch fish. Sasaki refuses. Hana sees he's free, so he should try. Think of it as fate, or like being lured into an adventure, but Sasaki still refuses. Hana insists he try, because sometimes it can change your life forever. Sasaki says he doesn't have time for fishing. What is his time for? Hana hears this and asks what his time is really for. She's very annoyed with his attitude. Takaaki steps in to advise. If he doesn't like it, don't force him. Suddenly, the creditors show up again. They've come all the way out here to find Sasaki. They shout non-stop, demanding Sasaki pay his debts. Suddenly, their boat drifts in another direction. It turns out Hana knows the boat captain, so she reported that fish aren't easy to catch here. Sasaki worries because the creditors are dangerous, but Hana says on the sea, fishermen fear no one. Sasaki hears this and thinks he should try fishing after all. Takaaki starts teaching him, first explaining the bait. It's like a small fish to trick the bigger ones. Then it's Hana's turn to guide him. First, place your finger on the line, then lower the rod and check if anyone is behind you. Once it's safe, swing the rod up and release your finger when you cast. It's called the sea technique. After the bait hits the water, reel it back steadily. Then the fake bait will swim back. Takaaki wants Sasaki to try it just like that. He starts doing it, following Hana's instructions step by step. As expected, his first try ends in failure. Sasaki tries again. This time he succeeds perfectly. Takaaki can't believe he nailed it on the second try. Then, he continues to guide him further. This time, the bait flies even farther. Then, the group keeps on with their fishing. A while later, the sky begins to brighten. Sasaki asks if fishing like this is really fun. Takaaki says just casting and reeling back is definitely boring. unless you're a true angler, and he admits he's not one himself. Takaki explains that their group isn't competing with anyone. Of course, there's competitive fishing where pros make money from it, but most here see it as their personal passion. Fishing doesn't save on food costs. In fact, it's quite expensive. Preparing gear for the right fish takes a lot of time. You have to check tides and weather. A snapped line can discourage anyone, and no matter rain or shine, you have to face it. Yet, the group persists. After all this talk, he realizes he doesn't even know why. Then, each member shares their own reasons. Some say it's instinct, others find it fun, and some say the fish tastes amazing. The group can't agree on a single reason for fishing. Sasaki admits none of the answers are convincing. Suddenly, his rod hooks a fish. He's completely flustered and doesn't know what to do. Hana says it's a mackerel. Everyone agrees he's incredibly skilled. He's caught one on his first real try. Hana advises him to take it home. The group decides they can't lose to Sasaki. Takaaki asks him again if fishing is fun. He still hesitates to answer that question. Takaki vows he won't lose to him. Sasaki keeps casting. The fish keep pulling his line. The meat. Sasaki admits this is truly. Hana explains that fish want to live too, so they don't want to be eaten. Sasaki admits this is truly right. He casts again, realizing that all creatures crave life. But he's been running away from his own. He keeps reeling in. Suddenly, the fish bites again. Everyone guides him on what to do next. As he lifts his rod, a big fish jumps up. It's a sea bass. Sasaki says it's pulling way too hard. Hana and Takaki rush to guide him. After a struggle, the fish escapes from his lure. Hana says he's really lucky because a school of fish suddenly appeared. Takaki sees this as a great opportunity and wants to explain later. The group continues their fishing adventure. Everyone is joyful, having caught so many fish. Then, Sasaki returns with the group. Takaki explains that phenomenon was small fish being chased to the surface by bigger ones. The big one this time is the sea bass. But he admits the sea bass. The big fish this time is the sea bass. Sasaki didn't catch any when the school surfaced. But he admits the sea bass that hooked his line was huge, bigger than the one Hana caught. The two argue about which one is bigger. The boat reaches the shore. The group gets to their side jobs. They work at every taki. Takaki takes Sasaki home as promised. He suggests Sasaki cook the mackerel at home. Sasaki says he doesn't know how to prepare fish. They arrive, but surprisingly, his house is destroyed. Takaki reads the notice. It's urban redevelopment. Sasaki's belongings are already moved outside. Takaki says this is just like in the movies. Looking back, Sasaki is completely stunned. He doesn't understand why there was no prior notice. Now he remembers someone came looking for him. He thought it was the debt collectors, so he avoided them. He sees this as just normal for him. He thinks he should go to a friend's place first, then figure things out. Sasaki admits it's real life indeed. Back at the store, Takaki prepares the mackerel Sasaki caught and enjoys it deliciously. Hana doesn't know what's happened to Sasaki. Outside, rain starts pouring. Sasaki has nowhere else to go. He plans to stay at an internet cafe, but his wallet is empty. A cat walks by, making him jumpy. He tries to pet it, but it's rejected. Takaki shows up. Thinking the friend Sasaki mentioned is the cat, he says it's not related, but Takaaki knows he's lying and invites him to come along. Sasaki agrees and heads to Takaaki's place. Inside, the room is full of fishing gear. Takaki offers him a hot cup of milk. Sasaki takes it. After a few questions, Takaki learns why Sasaki's house was demolished. Of course, it's because he didn't pay the rent. The more he asks, the more Sasaki makes up excuses that he's fine. Takaki suddenly offers him a job at his place. They're short-handed, so just come on board. Sasaki says even if he helps, it won't mean anything. He reveals he doesn't have much time left. Takaki thinks he's joking and hopes he doesn't make such dull jokes. For now, just go to sleep. The next day, they head to the store. Takaki goes in first and asks him to wait. Sasaki is confused, then realizes the store is all about fishing gear. Customers arrive, and Hana is handling sales. Sasaki sees how smartly she deals with them, in sales. The manager calls him. Knowing his situation, the manager accepts him. He also asks for his thoughts on fishing. Sasaki says he only tried it once with everyone. He thinks back. Is this store just for fishers? If he says he hates fishing, he might get fired right away. But instead, he speaks his truth. He clearly doesn't like fishing at all, he hates it intensely. Surprisingly, the manager likes him even more. The reason is, he needs someone who doesn't know fishing so the group can go without leaving the store short. Hana steps in, asking about his hatred for fishing. He says it's things like the fishy smell. Outside the counter, it's getting crowded. Takaki has to go help since Hana came in. She wants Sasaki to join her tomorrow. The next day, they go to the amusement park, with Kozio and Ice along. Sasaki doesn't get what's going on, he doesn't know the purpose of this trip. Soon, the group arrives at the park's fishing pond. Kozu hears he doesn't like fishing and says besides summer it turns into a fishing area. Ice invites him to swim together in the summer. Hana doesn't say much, she wants to compete in fishing with Sasaki today. Mentioning the sea base from before, they must settle the score today. The competition starts after that. Kotsu guides Sasaki today. Different from before, today they'll use real bait and rods. First, prepare the bait to fit the hook. Takaki has already caught his second one. Kozue continues guiding on adjusting the float for the water depth. Depending on the day and time, fish swim at different depths. If the bait is at the right depth where fish are, the chances increase. Next, cast the bait, then let the current carry it and wait for a bite. Occasionally, check if the bait is still there. Kozu finishes her guidance task. Indeed, many people are here for fishing. Sasaki hasn't caught anything yet. He sees fish jumping on the surface and adjusts his float. But the results are repeated failures. The one tasting the bait finds it terribly scary. Sasaki keeps going. This time, a fish bites, and he pulls hard. A fairly big fish is on his line, but it ends with the hook breaking. Hana realizes that fish was massive. It might just be a Neria salmon. Sasaki wonders if they can reel in big fish with just a fishing rod. Indeed, you'll have to switch to a different rod. You still believe you're not cut out for fishing at all. Hana explains that if it were easy from the start, where's the thrill? Then Sasaki starts over, with Hana guiding him patiently this time. The fish bites again, and Sasaki pulls while recalling Hana's words. This time, he succeeds, thrilled to have caught his first one. Meanwhile, Hana hooks a Neria salmon herself. It's incredibly huge, dragging her, but luckily Sasaki pulls her back. Sasaki feels awkward touching Hana like that, but Hana brushes it off, focused on landing that fish. The struggle continues as Hana reels it in. Sasaki watches in awe, amazed at how Hana masters this with just a rod against such a beast. Hana asks him to grab the net, telling him to stay calm and scoop it up. They succeed, and Hana shouts with joy. By evening, the contest results are in. Takaki with 11 fish, Ace with 8, Kozue with 6, and both Hana and Sasaki with 5. Hana feels frustrated tying with Sasaki. The group is starving, so they decide to cook and eat their catches. Hana guides Sasaki on how to prepare the fish. Sasaki is shocked and terrified, but after 77 steps, it's done. The group enjoys the delicious grilled fish together. Hana offers some to you, and Sasaki tries it, admitting it's amazing. Hana asks if he still hates fishing. Sasaki says he doesn't anymore, and Hana is thrilled with his answer. Takaki hopes he keeps up this spirit. As the group prepares to leave, Sasaki spots an old acquaintance. Sasaki panics, lies about having a stomachache, and slips away. He keeps running, heads to a nearby train station, and boards a train. He thinks working part-time at a convenience store won't be this tough. Takaki's group waits for him to return. No one knows where Sasaki is going since he has no home. Sasaki ends up at an internet cafe, booking a room for the night. He admits this place is the best escape, but checking his phone, his debts pile up, leaving him lost. Flashing back, the university entrance exam results are out. Sasaki did okay, but at school he sees everyone so carefree, thinking prep school efforts are meaningless. That's when he dives into Forex, entering the world of international currency trading. He figures making money this way beats struggling through studies and jobs. 2 classmates approach, wanting to learn Forex from him. Sasaki gladly helps, confident from his experience. But things don't go smoothly at all. He keeps getting lost notifications, convinced he can turn it around. Turn it around, Sasaki borrows from lenders, believing one big win will clear his debts. But life never works out as you plan, kid. He loses again, and his classmates are shocked at how bad it is. Sasaki runs away, his life turning pitch black from here. Illness hits him too. The next day, Takaki tells Hana that Sasaki hasn't come home. The cat from before has followed Takaki. He didn't expect Sasaki to quit his part-time job. Hana says not to worry, hunger will bring him back. Takaki thinks that's possible since Sasaki is like that cat. Suddenly, the manager wants to fish for striped dogfish, with a 1 million yen prize. They arrive to find crowds of anglers, all radiating intense determination. The manager dreams of buying his own boat with that prize. Takaki imagines a fully equipped fishing truck. Everyone warns that catching a striped dogfish is no easy feat. Then the group starts their fishing adventure. This is Hana's first time fishing for sharks. The group chats while waiting for a bite. Soon, Takaki's rod starts to move. They don't notice Sasaki fishing nearby. Reeling up, it gets tangled with Takaki reels up, but it's tangled with Sasaki's line. Turns out Sasaki came for that 1 million yen. Takaki doesn't get why he vanished without a word. Sasaki successfully untangles the lines. Then the group continues fishing, while Sasaki's rod waits. He bought it from a nearby hardware store. Takaki thinks fake bait won't attract sharks without the right gear. Takaki helps him set up proper bait. The money Sasaki used for the rod came from gaming wins. Takaki already knows about his debts from those guys at the parking lot. Sasaki just admits he's in deep debt. His rod gets a bite, and Sasaki panics, not sure what to do. Takaki guides him through it, and he pulls with all his might. Sasaki's lenders show up to fish too. The group spots them heading towards Sasaki. They immediately start demanding his debts. Everyone waits to see Sasaki's outcome. Hana and Takaki urge him to stay calm. Sasaki feels the weight is immense, but Hana assures him the fish will tire, so be patient. Just as he thinks of that 1 million yen, the lenders arrive. Sasaki drops everything and runs, leaving it to Takaki. It's another chase between debtor and creditors. Then Takaki abandons his spot and runs too. Sasaki bolts as usual. They pause to catch their breath, then keep going. Takaki chases after him, while the lenders drop out one by one. Sasaki runs until he's exhausted and stops. He feels utterly worn out by his debts. Takaki catches up, but Sasaki says it's none of his business. Takaki admits it's not, but he's worried. Sasaki's endurance is impressive, leading them to this unexpected place. Takaki presses about the debts, but Sasaki keeps lying. Takaki insists that with work, there's time to pay back, since debts must be settled. Debts must be settled. Sasaki gets angry, saying this is his problem, admitting nothing goes right, everything's useless, and he wishes he never existed. Takaki hears this, and reflects on his own past. He offers Sasaki a fresh start, urging him not to run anymore. Sasaki, with no home or money, sees no reset button in life. Takaki says he'll cover the money and housing at his place. In return, Sasaki will owe him. Just go with it and make it work. The manager keeps reeling, and by night he succeeds. But it's not a striped dogfish, just a big ray. Everyone leaves after that, and Hana thinks the ray can make great dishes. Sasaki and Takaki head back home together. Ready for a new beginning tomorrow, Sasaki starts his part-time job at the convenience store. His dream of turning life around now means working part-time here. Sasaki works hard from then on. Though inexperienced, he picks up skills quickly. Takaki and the manager have time for fishing. Customers keep asking about items that confuse Sasaki completely. He realizes this store is unlike any convenience store he's known. He soldiers on, but can't grasp all the fishing gear yet. Hana is a pro, remembering every lure's name and use. She explains in detail, leaving Sasaki baffled and speechless. Back home that night, Takaki chats with him. Sasaki studies info on different lures. Takaki hands him a key. It's the house key, so Sasaki can come and go easily. On it is a tag with the weight marked. Takaki explains, each type has its own weight. If you want to learn more, ask Hana. The next day, he hesitates to ask Hana, but a customer questions him about rods and lines. Sasaki has no clue, but luckily, Hana steps in to help. After 77 steps of analysis, she confirms everything's fine. The customer thanks her and leaves. Sasaki is stunned by Hana's expertise. Work continues into the evening, and he can't believe she remembers it all. Suddenly, a customer pays and gives extra change. It overwhelms Hana's mind as she tries to calculate. Sasaki jumps in to intervene. Surprisingly, Hana struggles with the math. Afterward, they take a break together. Hana thanks him for the help earlier. Sasaki is amazed she's a fishing whiz but bad at making change. Hana says she dislikes dealing with complicated people like that. The manager enters and spots a strange box. He opens it to find it's full of fishing lures. Turns out, Hana wanted to expand the store's fishing stock. The manager warns that many employees quit from memorizing too much. He asks her not to do this on her own. Hana accepts and wants to head to bed. Sasaki wonders about her sleeping arrangements. She says her room is right here in the store. Now Sasaki knows she lives here. At 5 a.m., Hana wakes up, freshens up, and changes for the day. First thing, she goes fishing. Soon she catches plenty, then returns to prepare her breakfast and gear. Next, she bikes to school. In class, Hana sleeps. The teacher passes by. In class, Hana sleeps but wakes when the teacher passes. PE is full of energy. After lunch, she naps again. Her school day ends like that. Hana starts her part-time shift. Another day passes. Sasaki now knows how Hana's days unfold. They chat at the store. Hana suggests going fishing after their shift. Since theory isn't sticking, practice might make it click. Hana seals it and heads to school. Then, their fishing outing happens. Hana shares more fishing knowledge with Sasaki. Today, they'll try 3 different baits first, starting with surface floating bait. Next, mid-water sinking bait, and finally, deep bottom bait. Hana wants Sasaki to try each one. He admits fishing has too many terms and info he doesn't get. Hana demonstrates. For surface bait, just cast and reel steadily. It mimics a school of panicked fish darting across the surface. Hana tries casting farther. Sasaki doubts if this spot will yield anything. They give it a go, casting and reeling without knowing if fish are there. Still, Sasaki finds joy in casting far. Hana focuses on spotting targets. Sasaki thinks it's quirky but fun. The manager arrives and joins in. Sasaki asks why Hana lives and works at the store. He even wonders if she's the manager's daughter. The manager clarifies the misunderstanding. The store is owned by Hana's grandmother, and he just rents it. Sasaki casually asks about Hana's parents. The manager doesn't know much but says they divorced. Then her mother remarried, and by high school Hana left home to stay here. She may seem childish, but Hana is thoughtful and mature. The manager doesn't know why she loves fishing so much. By dusk, Sasaki catches nothing. Hana lands a huge fish. Sasaki figures it's because of her spot. Hana wants to prove it right away. Using Sasaki's rod, she reels with pauses to give the fish a chance to bite. Sure enough, she hooks one immediately. Hana is excited, battling the fish until she brings it up. A massive bass. Sasaki thinks it's his reeling technique that's off. Hana teases back. Great with change, but not with fishing. Sasaki realizes she invited him just to say that, but she notes he learned about baits. He wants to fish a bit longer. Hana says the time isn't right anymore. If he wants more lessons, seek her out. And with that, their day ends on a high note. Let me share this with you. Sasaki just gets teased and quietly accepts his fate. Yet he calls it maturity, more childish than anything. The next day, after finishing his shift, the manager hands Sasaki his first paycheck. Sasaki is totally surprised. The manager hopes he'll keep pushing forward. Miss Diane congratulates him on his first earnings, wondering what he'll do with it. Sasaki thinks he might buy a gaming console, top up cards, or play pachinko to his heart's content. Then, he suddenly remembers Takaki. It seems he'll need more to buy everything. Suddenly, Hana gets all flustered. It turns out she forgot to place an order, so Hana realizes she's in trouble. But then she thinks, occasionally heading to the store isn't so bad. After all, she just got paid. Sasaki has no idea what game Hana is playing with him. Then, Miss Diane and Hana pull him along right away. Sasaki doesn't understand what's happening. Sasaki is taken to a massive, impressive store. Hana says goodbye to Miss Diane. Miss Diane takes Sasaki's hand and wants him to come with her. Indeed, compared to his workplace, this place is completely different. They say here they sell pre-assembled tackle kits. Hana is excitedly picking out items with pure joy. Miss Diane mentions that they sell ready-to-use hook and line kits here. Miss Diane keeps sharing more fishing knowledge with Sasaki. They learn that this weekend the group will go fishing at the breakwater. Miss Diane invites him to join in. Sasaki feels a bit flustered but decides to buy a lot since he just got paid. This time he's determined to impress the girls and ignore Takaki's advice. And then, can you get what you want by spending on girls? Fate whispers that without money for girls, don't even dream of it. Sasaki feels like he's on a date with someone special. At the fishing rod section, Sasaki spots a top-tier reel. Hana explains it's one of the best, called the shit. Sasaki thinks as a beginner, he probably won't buy it, but he's incredibly curious. Back home, Sasaki admits he bought way too much stuff. Takaki sees it as a bit wasteful since he could have lent him some. He reminds him about his debt. Sasaki explains it's because Miss Diane was so helpful that he got carried away. He clarifies it's not about showing off or acting cool. Takaki hopes he won't do it again next time. Otherwise, he'll hold on to Sasaki's salary. That night, Sasaki starts researching the sit reel. It's truly the ultimate reel for anglers around the world. The next day, Sasaki is exhausted from staying up late. Today's fishing trip begins with traditional float fishing. Takaki chooses to cast lightly with his rod. Hana uses a line with multiple hooks, and as soon as she drops it, fish start biting. The advantage is catching several fish at once. Sasaki decides to go with lure fishing. Miss Diane offers to guide him on light casting. Hearing that, he gets excited and can't hide his grin. At first, Sasaki is terrified of the live bait. Miss Diane says you have to stay emotionless in these moments. Soon, the bait is hooked. Sasaki gives it a try. When it's time to cast, Miss Diane is amazed at how skilled he is. Sasaki seizes the chance to chat with Miss Diane, asking why she likes fishing despite hating it before. Miss Diane admits she still hates it, but eating fish is delicious, especially since the person she likes enjoys fishing. She reveals that's Hana. Then, she asks him if he's starting to like fishing. Sasaki feels shy in the face of Miss Diane's charm. She says sometimes you fall for fishing without even realizing it. Takaki lands a good-sized fish. Miss Diane calls it impressive. Why do you like fishing? Takaki says it's because the sea is right there. The first time they met, Sasaki asked that. Takaaki now understands. Just as love exists because people love, fishing is exactly the same. Sasaki wonders why he isn't getting bored. Takaki can't quite explain it, but fishing has an intense pull. He grew up by the sea, so he's been fishing since he was little. Back then, everyone around praised his talent. His passion for fishing grew stronger every day. Once he started working and had money, he bought lots of gear and gave his old stuff to his brother. Now Sasaki learns he has a brother. Takaki sees it all as proof of his life's journey. Miss Diane catches a mackerel. Hana thinks about salted mackerel for tonight. Miss Diane is thrilled about eating the delicious fish she caught. So far, Sasaki hasn't caught anything. Takaki wants him to try his rod and just take good care of it. Sasaki notes how light it is. It's versatile for both live and lure bait. Sasaki casts far, and as soon as it hits, a fish bites. So, he gets his first fish. Sasaki keeps going, and another fish bites right away. Takaki sees how happy he is. In the end, the group catches a lot by evening. The group heads back together. Sasaki still eyes the shit reel. The next day, without a word, he sneaks to the store. Miss Diane is there too, calling a staff member to let him hold and examine it closely. She guesses he loves it and advises him to work hard to buy it soon. Hana is also there, ready with a nose and rod for him to try. In the end, Sasaki decides on this rod and reel. Takaki can't believe he spent 130,000 yen. Just like that. From next month's salary, as promised, Takaki will hold it. After that, Sasaki immediately wants to test his new rod. It's truly the peak of technique built over 60 years of history. The ads weren't wrong. He's utterly thrilled with his new rod. Takaki also wants to borrow it for a cast, but Sasaki politely refuses. The next early morning, Sasaki and Takaki go fishing together. Sasaki keeps hooking fish, and this time, surprisingly, a tiger fish. He can't believe he caught a tiger fish from the shore. Takaki says it's delicious but a bit tricky to prepare. To prepare it, but he has a way. He has a solution. Take it to his shop and it'll be sorted out. They bring the fish to Arua for processing. He came to Japan to learn cooking. He dreams of opening a Japanese restaurant in Thailand and becoming an action movie star. He asks about Sasaki's dreams. Sasaki doesn't know how to answer. After a while of processing, it's done. Ice comes to get her lunch. Arua prepares a delicious Thai box for her. During Sasaki's shift, he unexpectedly meets a customer speaking Chinese. Sasaki doesn't understand and has to respond later. The manager is also stumped by this. Sasaki ends up apologizing in English. The customer keeps speaking in Chinese. Ice appears and can communicate in Chinese. They chat briefly, and the customer leaves. Sasaki didn't even realize it was Ice. He can't believe she can transform so much with makeup. Makeup truly turns people into someone else. She's currently a model. Her Chinese was taught by a Chinese friend. She shares a lot about herself with Sasaki. She invites him to go to Thailand with the group. She's planning it with Hana. Sasaki says he doesn't have a passport yet. She doesn't care, and just confirms it. Later, the group goes fishing together. Everyone realizes Sasaki misunderstood. Because when they said Thailand, they meant the breakwater. It's sea bream fishing. Today, Miss Diane isn't joining because she's seasick and declined. The group boards the boat. For this straight-down fishing, Sasaki can't bring his new rod. Takaki gives him sea bream-specific lures. The boat sets off. After a while, the sky starts to brighten. They reach the fishing spot. This rod just needs to be tucked under your arm. Then press the lock and the lure sinks. The target is red sea bream. They live in deep waters. When it hits bottom, stop reeling. Then reel up about 10 turns and let it drop again. The advantage of vertical fishing is its steady reeling speed. Red sea bream chase the lure as it goes up and down. Hana's rod gets a bite. When that happens, just reel slowly and steadily. The manager is ready with the net. The first red sea bream goes to Hana. The group continues fishing intently. Sasaki is getting bored since nothing's biting. After a while, the boat moves to another spot. Fishing continues. Hana and Takaki keep hooking fish. Sasaki is frustrated he hasn't caught any. The boat moves again. Sasaki starts feeling seasick. His head spins. Ice helps steady him. After a moment, he feels better. Then it's her turn. The group takes a break to eat on the boat. Sasaki and Ice are completely drained. They chat together. Soon, Sasaki starts feeling okay. She's just like him. They decide to get back to it. Today, they've only caught 3 red sea breams so far. The group keeps trying. Arua successfully hooks one. Then the manager, Uncle Fujiro, gets one too. Finally, Sasaki's rod gets a bite. Hana and Takaki tell him to stay calm. Ice is trying to do the same. Both of them hook fish at the same time. They must succeed. So, both get their first fish. They high-five to celebrate. After that, the group has better luck. They hook plenty more. Hana still gets the biggest one today. By evening, the group heads back. Sasaki is exhausted. Everyone else in the group still has energy. Later, Sasaki has a chat with Ice. She tells him that even if things end for us, the world around keeps going. So, let's live fully for our own lives. That night at home, he reflects on Arua and Ice's words instead of sleeping. The next day continues. He finishes his shift and returns home. Surprisingly, everyone throws a welcome party for him into the endless plains. Into every. The group prepares a feast for him. Dishes made from the fish they caught yesterday. Ice suggested this party. Everyone notices Sasaki isn't very cheerful. Ice helps lift his spirits. Then comes Arua's main dish. The group enjoys the feast together, savoring the delicious fish they caught. Sasaki suddenly recalls his lonely past memories. Then, he starts crying. Hana notices. She guesses it's because he's so happy. Sasaki denies it repeatedly. The next day, the girls chat together. Uncle Fujiro leaves first. Then, Hana schedules to meet him on Sunday. The group still doesn't know much about Uncle Fujiro. He's full of mysteries. The meeting on Sunday is at the Sukoku fishing area. She asks permission to go. Ice has a shift that day. Hana suggests Sasaki join for pufferfish fishing. The next day, he starts researching pufferfish. They're fish that only grow up to 20 centimeters. He thinks they're too small. Takaki sees he's not thrilled. Sasaki says it's because he has a new rod and is aiming for bigger fish. Like in the show he and Takaki watched yesterday. That's Fish Dreamer. After watching, Sasaki really wants to catch big fish like that. Miss Diane doesn't know how to fish for pufferfish. Takaki says it's the sabiki style. Sasaki hears that and likes it even less. The next day, the group wakes up early and gets ready. Uncle Fujiro's new van arrives. The group didn't expect it to be a camper van. So, they end up taking Takaaki's car. Sasaki still doesn't get why they're going for pufferfish. Hana says the purpose is to eat them. After a drive, they arrive. Uncle Fujiro gets out and immediately greets the group to start fishing. There are many people here for fishing. Hana begins preparing the bait. Sasaki wonders about Fujiro. Even Takaki admits Uncle is quite mysterious. They know he graduated from a prestigious university. Sasaki realizes the convenience store he works at is full of interesting people. By 9 a.m., the whole group dives into their thrilling quest for herring fishing. Sasaki is still petrified by the real bait. This time they'll drop it into the basket. Then, they'll cast the line down, letting the bait dissolve in the water, drawing fish in for the catch. Sasaki hooks one, but it's not a herring. Hana explains it's a bait fish. No wonder herrings and sardines look so alike. The group keeps fishing on. Sasaki grows frustrated as nothing bites. Reeling in reveals the bait is gone. Then, he gets the hook stuck in his hand. Feeling defeated, he asks Hana if they can try fake bait here. Hana says yes. Hearing about nearby baitfish surfacing, Sasaki decides to switch up his approach. He heads to the car and grabs his top-notch fishing rod. He finds a perfect spot, all alone. Now, he looks just like the legendary fish dreamer. Sasaki is all set and ready. First, he picks a fake bait for 15 meters depth. He's chosen the perfect fake bait. It has the power to lure fish from afar. He casts his line, nothing happens, so he tries another bait. He tries again. This time, it's a total fail. The bait snaps off the line. Failure is the mother of success. He refuses to give up. This time, he aims for a target 70 meters away. Another failure. Then, he spots a flock of birds. Usually, fish gather right under those bird flocks. Sasaki feels like he's in the wild wilderness. He switches bait again. Hana's sudden appearance startles him. She points out the birds and says big fish are surely below, gathering for the hunt. Hana helps pick the bait for Sasaki. He hooks it on and gets ready. Hana leaves, wishing him to cast carefully. Sasaki keeps casting and reeling. Finally, a fish bites. It's a strong pull, definitely a big one. He knows it's huge and struggles to hold on. With no one around, he wonders how to net it. In the end, the fish slips away. What a bitter loss, so spicy. Like level 7 noodles. Back with the group, he sees his friends have caught tons of herring. Sasaki admits fake bait is totally useless here. Still, the group leaves him behind. They've reeled in a massive haul. Just then, a fish bites, and Miss Du wants Sasaki to handle it. He reels in the line. Indeed, there are plenty of fish. Hana encourages him to keep going. So, Sasaki tries herring fishing again. Joy returns to Sasaki. Uncle Fujiro is also doing great. He's handling 3 rods all by himself. Hana strikes gold again. The group shares the excitement of a bountiful fishing day. Sasaki realizes fishing with friends is way more fun than going solo. They fish until evening and end up with a full barrel of fish. They pack up to head back. Sasaki spots a fish thrashing wildly. He vows next time he'll conquer that big fish. Back at the shop, the group enjoys a meal from their catch. They all savor the super delicious dishes prepared by Arua. Sasaki admits, it's truly amazing. After today, he learns an important lesson. No matter what fish you're after, preparation and research are key. Uncle Fujiro reaffirms that whether big or small, as long as fishing is fun, it's perfect. The next day continues. Manager Machida is feeling anxious. He's unsure how reuniting with little Yu this Sunday will go. Sasaki wonders who little Yu is. Ice reveals he's the manager's son. The manager can't decide where to go and suddenly thinks of fishing. Hana thinks it's a great idea. Fishing with family is wonderful. So, the manager decides to fish with his son. But he wants something safe and risk-free. Sasaki suggests trying for perch. Lately, many parents are taking their kids for that. The manager finds perch boring. Ice suggests Karuri Park. He knows fish are scarce there lately. Hana suggests fake bait fishing in the river, but little Yu is only in 3rd grade, so it's dangerous and hard. After weighing options, he goes with Sasaki's idea. It's the safest. Surprisingly, Hana and Takaki join Sasaki. The three promise not to bother the manager. Little Yu meets his dad. The father and son stroll and chat, but since they rarely see each other, they're both shy. Sasaki's group watches from afar. The Machida father and son reach the fishing spot. Yu gets guidance from his dad on perch fishing. Sasaki's group joins in fishing on the other side. The manager asks about his son's studies. But the boy doesn't expect his dad to ask about prehistoric times when he's prepping for middle school exams. Though he's in elementary, he sees it as normal. Yu's line gets a bite, but he misses the pull. The manager wants to help rebait for his son, but Yu insists on doing it himself. Sasaki's group keeps an eye on things. Yu loses focus, so he can't reel in the fish. His dad advises fishing near that rock, where perch usually gather. Yu tries again. Success this time, he catches his first one. Dad shares more about the perch's habits with his son. Hana sees things are starting to smooth out. Soon, the father and son have caught quite a few. Yu asks his dad how he's been lately. Dad says he's doing fine, fishing every day as usual. Yu recalls the old days when the family fished together. Little Yu remembers every detail of that day, but his dad can't recall it clearly. He just guesses which time it was. The father and son keep chatting about fishing. Machida sets a challenge for his son. If he catches a 20 centimeters fish, he can buy anything he wants. But Yu doesn't want anything and decides to fish on the other side. Hana thinks it's doomed. She tells Sasaki to chat with the boy a bit while she talks to the manager. Sasaki nervously approaches little Yu, unsure what to say. Little Yu is very polite, knowing Sasaki works with his dad. They fish together. Sasaki isn't good with kids, so as he starts to chat, a group of 3 kids shows up and bombards him with questions. Yu catches another one, and the kids switch to talking with him. Then, the kids hear about big fish elsewhere and leave. The manager feels down because his plan failed. Suddenly, Sasaki tells him Yu has something to say. He asks about the timeless black snapper. Takaki returns from the restroom and explains it's a fish so big its age is unknown. Hearing that, Yu really wants to catch one someday. He sets a reverse condition for his dad. If he catches it, he wants his dad to come home. Hana agrees on the manager's behalf. The manager is flustered and talks privately with Hana. He's afraid the other side doesn't want to reconcile. Hana is sure a 50 centimeters timeless black snapper won't be here, so catching it would be a miracle. The manager returns to his son and encourages him to try. The father and son continue their fishing adventure. The manager answers all his son's questions. Yu asks to fish in another spot. It's late afternoon, but he doesn't want to leave since black snappers are most active before dawn and dusk. He just learned that. Seeing his son is thirsty, the manager goes to buy water and urges him to keep trying. Takaki's group decides to stay a bit longer. The manager asks the group for help. By evening, Yu's line gets a bite. Takaaki and Hana cheer him on. A big black snapper is on Yu's line. After a struggle, they successfully net it. Hana guesses it's over 50 centimeters. They plan to measure, but Yu wants to release it. He wants to let it go quickly, fearing his dad won't want to come home, but Sasaki believes his dad does, since he changed the line to help catch big fish. The manager has seen everything. The fish is released. Back home, Yu lies that he didn't catch the timeless black snapper. The father and son say goodbye. Yu happily hopes for a day when the whole family fishes together. At farewell, the manager wants to say something but can't. They continue on. The manager asks the 3 to go ahead. Earlier, Hana took photos of the father and son. The manager is overjoyed with the time spent with his son today. Typhoon number 23 is hitting hard. Takaki barely makes it to the shop. The forecast says the rain will get heavier. Hana wants to go fishing, but Takaki stops her. It's too dangerous in the storm. Hana tries to lie about just checking the weather, but Takaki sees through it. She lies again, saying she's going for water, but Takaki won't allow it. During Sasaki's shift, he's bored and practices tying knots. Hana warns him not to go fishing today. Sasaki knows better. It's raining and windy. Manager Machida is worried about the shop's tough month and the incoming storm. Indeed, in this weather, nothing can be done. Bad weather can make fishing easier with visibility and fish behavior, plus other factors. Still, humans shouldn't risk it. Ice is hungry, so she goes out to buy food. The manager is stressed about revenue and employee bonuses. Sasaki is still struggling with tying knots. Ice returns with lots of snacks and shares with everyone. The group kills time indoors, chatting and playing games together. Then, they gather ingredients for Arua to cook. Sasaki hasn't mastered knot tying yet and keeps cashiering for the staff. Machida advises him to tighten the knot, and Arua starts cooking. Hana and Takaaki keep joking and playing. It's endlessly fun. Ice wants to help Arua with cooking. Takaki goes to Sasaki to pay for his items. Machida enjoys Arua's dish and calls it fantastic. Ice has made a hot pot for the group to enjoy. Later, Machida buys more at the shop. The group inside parties heartily. Suddenly, customers arrive at Sasaki's debt collectors. They say it's coincidence and didn't mean to startle him. The boss of the group appears and faints again. The debt collectors get help from Sasaki's shop to bathe and rest. They're all starving. The hot pot just got tofu added. The boss brings a massive sea devil fish as interest payment. That's what the group was forced to take for the loan. The two members also have veggies and rice. Arua gets to work on preparing the fish. He's incredibly skilled, preps it in no time. The group teams up to prepare for a feast. Everything for the hot pot is ready, and it's time to dig in. Everyone agrees the fish meat is amazing, truly a rare treat. Taka is getting tipsy from drinking too much. The group parties on joyfully. Next up is crispy fried sea devil. The manager thinks occasional gatherings like this are worthwhile. Hana notices Sasaki still hasn't tied the knot. The debt group wonders what he's doing. So, Hana explains it to everyone. Takaki sees he's fallen for fishing. Sasaki admits waiting can be tiring and leg aching. But catching fish changes everything. The satisfaction is indescribable, and sharing joy with friends is something he's never felt before. It's truly fresh and exciting. He'll keep going and conquer big fish on his own. Sasaki finally succeeds in tying the knot. Hana wants to see the fake bait he used to catch that big fish before. Indeed, it has bite marks. Takaki thinks it's a Japanese mackerel. This migratory bluefish can grow up to 1 meter. Hana believes he'll catch big ones. The rain has stopped. The debt group asks to leave. The boss says if Sasaki has troubles, come to her, she'll handle it. The party goes on. The next day, as they plan for big fish, manager Machida goes to the hospital for a checkup. He slipped on Uncle Fujiiro's board and fell, so he's getting checked for safety. On the way to the hospital, Sasaki suddenly says he has an emergency and bolts. He just leaves everyone. The group is confused about why he did that. You never expected that at the hospital. While handling fish, memories of your own illness would come rushing back. Takaki couldn't understand why you suddenly returned home. The two of you shared a meal together, and he wanted to know how Sasaki was doing today. Sasaki kept lying, insisting that everything was perfectly fine. Takaki also assured him that the manager was completely okay. Sasaki couldn't shake off the doctor's words from before, only 2 years left, but he still believed he was fine, with no worrisome signs at all. Just the day after that talk, a sharp stomach pain hit him, unbearable and sudden. Takaki had already called to swap shifts for him. The two bumped into each other, and Sasaki dashed straight to the restroom. Takaki figured it was probably from the mackerel you ate yesterday from the fridge. It was cold, after all. Sasaki seemed to have just food poisoning. Takaki agreed it was likely that. At the store, Sister Ice checked in on him. She sensed something off about him, especially after he asked what he'd do if he only had 2 years left. Hearing that, Takaki recalled his own words about not having much time left. He double-checked with Sister Ice once more. The next day, Hana and Sasaki planned a sea-based fishing trip together. Hana told him this was the perfect time to catch them. Especially, fishing this time required patience at the new spot. Hana once caught one that was 95 centimeters long. The two met up with Takaki, and then all three got to work. After a while, Hana was the first to land a fish. The two young men were bitterly jealous. As evening came, Hana had to head to work, so Hana left first. Finally, Sasaki's line had a bite. But before he could celebrate, the fish got away. He and Takaki kept fishing. Soon, the nearby bridge lit up with a magical glow. Takaki reminded him that Sasaki had been fishing for nearly half a year. Sasaki had been fishing for nearly half a year. The two of them had been together for about that time too. Takaki wondered why Sasaki hadn't disappeared, because earlier Sasaki had said something like that, since he wouldn't live much longer anyway. Sasaki kept lying, saying that was just a joke. Takaki told him about the question he asked Sister Ice. He accidentally saw on Sasaki's phone that he was searching for another illness. On Sasaki's phone he was searching for an illness. It just felt off, like something was nagging at him. Takaki also shared the story of his own sibling with Sasaki. 3 years ago, his sibling passed away from illness, which is why he asked so much about Sasaki. He apologized for it too. Then, the two headed back together. On the way, Sasaki suddenly brought up the health check from university. They advised him to go to the hospital after that. He really did have the illness, but he felt completely fine. Takaki urged him to go to the hospital, saying if he was worried, he'd go with him. The next day, as Sasaki prepared for his shift, he took a quick break. Takaki kept messaging, asking about his doctor's visit. He admitted that Takaki was truly a kind-hearted person. Then, in the afternoon, a customer arrived. The man came looking for Takaki, but he wasn't on shift today. He thought about coming back later. Sasaki didn't know what was up, so he mentioned they were living together. "We are living together." That man was no other than Takaki's father. He said he never expected that 3 years ago he just left home without a word to the family. Sasaki brought up the sibling. Hearing that, the man asked Sasaki to pass on a message. If there's a chance, at least visit his sibling's grave. Just say the family asked for it. Sasaki was deeply curious after hearing this. He never imagined Takaki had so many unspoken stories. A while later, he returned home, but Sasaki still hadn't scheduled the doctor's visit. Takaki didn't want him to keep postponing it. The two ended up in a heated argument. Sasaki tried to leave but was stopped. Takaki begged him not to run away anymore. Sasaki turned it around, saying Takaki was the one running away. He mentioned the incident at the convenience store today. Right now, Takaki was no different from him. Bringing up the grave visit made Takaki angry, saying it had nothing to do with him. The two kept exchanging words, worrying about each other, while neglecting their own issues. Sasaki admitted he was scared, terrified that tomorrow might never come. His whole body trembled at the thought. Takaki decided to leave the house. In anger, Sasaki smashed things around, but stopped short of breaking the glass Takaki gave him, despite his deep disappointment. Last night, Takaki slept in the car. He woke up early, drank a can of coffee to clear his mind, and kept thinking. The manager was officially discharged and back at the store. He had cleaned a fishing reel spotlessly during his free time in the hospital. Sasaki arrived just then. Everything with Machida had gone smoothly. He wondered why Takaki wasn't there today. When asked, Sasaki said he'd cover his shift. Hana thought they must have argued. But Machida said arguing and skipping work wasn't right. No one knew what they argued about. Sasaki said he was the one who was mad. Then, he ignored others' feelings and acted like he was always right. The manager thought Takaki was still at home. But Sasaki said he had left and didn't return last night. Now, no one knew when he'd come back, but Hana believed he'd return eventually. Later, Sister Ice heard about it from Sei. Then, she went on to tell Arua about it. Things were getting more and more tangled. Sasaki returned home after his shift. Sure enough, his friend hadn't come back. He reread the message urging him to go to the hospital, still wondering why he worried about others instead of himself. Suddenly, he received a call from Hana. The next day, the two went fishing together. Sasaki was completely off his game with fishing. He was clearly not focused at all. Hana guided him again, since he'd forgotten all the basics of fishing. She showed him how to reel in properly, because doing it wrong meant no fish. Just as he was about to say something, he turned and saw Hana casting with expert precision. She explained that fish are very sensitive, so, if you're not serious, they'll definitely notice. The two fished together until evening, then sat and chatted. Sasaki also told her about the person who came looking for Takaki at the store. Hana guessed it was related to their argument. Sasaki kept lying, saying it was just his family being a bit worried. Hana realized she hadn't shared much with Takaki. It was always about fishing, work, and trivial things. She thought that was pretty normal. The store felt so relaxed. Because everyone is who they are, Takaki. She saw it as, that's why partners feel like family. And she could tell Takaki felt comfortable there too. Their argument wasn't a bad thing at all. Hana told him she didn't want to argue just to stay. She thought both were probably thinking they were wrong. So, if they wanted to make up, just apologize. But how can you apologize if they're not even here, miss? Hana suddenly remembered that the first time Sasaki fell into the river, Takaki tried his best to save him. Sasaki started recalling it too. It was true. He thought he definitely needed to say thanks. It seemed now wasn't the time for fishing. Finding Takaki would be better. Hana thought the opposite. If he fished, he'd surely meet him, because she was certain that's the only place Takaki would be. The next day, after finishing his shift and clocking out, he set off, deciding to bike to a good fishing spot. Back home that evening, he was still absorbed in learning more about fishing. He focused entirely on fishing. Eventually, his efforts paid off. He was thrilled to realize that not just humans are drawn to beautiful nights, fish are too. Sasaki continued casting into the night. Day after day, he studied and learned about fishing. One day, while fishing, he met an old man. Today, he hadn't caught anything at all today. The old man said it was because of the recent cold north wind. The tide was low, and the water temperature had dropped. He advised that if he wanted to fish, pick a day with a south wind. Sasaki's knowledge of fishing kept expanding day by day. Expanding. Indeed, time and environment are crucial. With proper preparation and practice, he'd surely catch fish. As long as he prepared well and applied what he learned, success was certain. Arua just successfully caught a big fish. Sasaki happily cast his line again. This time, back home, he decided to face his illness. He contacted the hospital and made an appointment. The next day, after his shift, everyone invited him to fish at the park, but he had a hospital visit, so he couldn't go. They didn't know the reason. Sister Ice felt he had been acting strange all morning. Due thought maybe he had a girlfriend, and Sister Ice guessed he was preparing for his first date. Everyone kept guessing about him. Sasaki firmly denied it. He returned in the rain, telling himself to keep thinking positively. Then, he went to the hospital for the checkup. Afterward, he understood his current condition clearly. As he left, Sasaki felt the south wind. The weather had just cleared after the rain. He remembered Takaki's words. Without hesitation, he hopped on his bike and rode off. A moment later, he spotted Takaki. The two saw each other, then continued on their way. Sasaki still lied, saying he was just passing by. But Takaki knew his friend too well. Sasaki still lacked the courage to speak openly with both of them. Takaki didn't want him to keep acting that way. If there's something to say, just say it. Of course, his shy nature held him back again. The two reached the base of a bridge and prepared to fish. Sasaki explained that being here was just a coincidence. This spot was ideal for sea bass fishing. Takaki admitted he had learned how to fish, but in return he'd go elsewhere. Suddenly, fish swarmed in, forcing them to fish together here. Sasaki set up his rod and asked to try first. He cast with perfect accuracy. Sasaki thought he cast far, but Takaki said it's not always about distance. Just as he finished, Sasaki's line had a bite. Both were excited, but remembered they were still arguing. After fishing a bit more, Takaki asked if this was okay, since it wasn't the time to relax and fish. Sasaki affirmed that right now was for fishing. The two continued. Sasaki started chatting, asking about his friend. He didn't know why his friend was here today. He wondered if he came for the same reason. Sasaki said it was because the rain had stopped, there was a south wind, and conditions were perfect for fish to gather. Plus, following Takaki's advice to fish after 2 days, Takaki still called it coincidence. If they met, they should try fishing for sea bass around here. Sasaki, overjoyed. The two moved to another spot to fish. A while later they caught the first fish. They were happy, then remembered their argument. Sasaki asked how his friend had been lately. He said he had been living in the car. Sasaki couldn't believe he hadn't gone home, but he said it wasn't hardship, he was actually enjoying that life. The two kept on with their fishing. The weather was turning colder. Takaki was about to stop, but Sasaki was fully focused. Even as it got colder and past the fish's feeding time, he was determined to keep going, because today was the last chance. Sasaki also told his friend he had gone to the hospital. Takaki acknowledged it, saying that explained what he wanted to say. As they talked, the fish kept biting. Sasaki regretted it might have been a big one. Takaki suggested he try his spot, just change the angle so it wouldn't notice. Sasaki tried again with a pro fisher's stance. Sure enough, there was movement underwater. The fish officially bit his line. Sasaki struggled with a big one, unsure what to do next. In panic, he forgot the next steps. Takaki told him to hold it down, then lift the rod. Take it slow, don't panic, and wait patiently, it'll tire out. That fish was enormous. Sasaki felt like one hook had slipped. The fish kept thrashing, fighting Sasaki fiercely. Takaki was fully prepared to net it up. Both of them were ready to team up, but just as success seemed within reach, the hook suddenly slipped away. Luckily, Takaki managed to net it just in time before it escaped. Sasaki was still trembling, amazed that he had actually pulled it off. In the end, he conquered it with his own hands. What a triumph! The measurement came in at 84 centimeters, just enough for a kingfish, but they decided to release it back. They went ahead and released it. Sasaki decided he would head home tomorrow. He called his parents and planned to get treatment at the hospital back home. As for the money he borrowed from Takaki, he still couldn't pay it back yet. To pay it back, Sasaki also shared what Takaki allowed his friend to pay it back slowly. Sasaki finally said something he had never said before, words of thanks. He truly owed his friend so much. Yet, he had always been so selfish about it. His thanks to Takaki finally came out. Takaki couldn't help but chuckle, knowing his friend wasn't used to saying such things. It was truly Sasaki's first time. The two officially made up and headed home together. Early in the morning, Sasaki woke up to find Takaki already awake. He was gazing at the outdoor scenery. Snow had started falling outside. It was truly a beautiful sight in the early morning. Snow like this was rare in Tokyo. Takaki suggested to Sasaki that they go out and admire the snow together. Tomorrow, Sasaki would be heading home, and Takaki felt a bit regretful, because Sasaki had helped him at the shop. Sasaki brushed it off as nothing special. The two continued chatting. Suddenly, Sasaki threw snow at Takaki. He felt a bit awkward, seeing his friend wasn't in the best mood. He explained that he used to do this with his little brother. 3 years ago, they argued loudly at the hospital. His brother just wanted to go home, and that's all it took for them to fight. After that, his brother ran away from the hospital and had an accident. He thought he was looking out for his brother, but in reality, he was just imposing his own views. So, he believed he was the reason his brother was gone. That's why he ran away in fear. The more he ran, the more afraid he became, and he couldn't turn back. Gradually, his heart grew cold. Sasaki thought his life had ended, so he studied hard to become an outstanding office worker. But he failed the university entrance exam and ended up in debt. He fell ill too. He couldn't understand why his life was so unfortunate, but that's how he met Takaki and learned to fish. So, he decided he should keep living. Fishing is truly fascinating. These were the same words his brother once said to him. He broke into tears, realizing just how captivating fishing really is. The next day, Sasaki visited the shop and asked for leave. He also mentioned that Takaki would soon return to the shop. Miss Diane was saddened to hear about his resignation and gave him a gift. Sister Ice invited him to hang out more. Arua couldn't contact Hana because he knew Sasaki was leaving today. He bid farewell to the shop one last time. As he walked, he recalled the memories with the shop's members, memories of joy, sorrow, and especially fishing together. Along the way, he spotted Hana. Hana already knew about Sasaki's resignation and that he had caught an 84 centimeters king fish yesterday. Hana boasted about a fish even bigger than his by 2 centimeters. Hana was determined not to lose to Sasaki. Sasaki felt truly happy hearing that. Then, she gave him a fishing lure as a farewell gift. Before accepting, he asked a few more questions about fishing. Sasaki answered them with ease. Hana hoped that when they meet again, they could fish together once more. Time flew by. 2 years later, the two said their goodbyes. Time flew by, and 2 years later, everyone at the shop planned a fishing trip. Suddenly, the group received a message. When they arrived at the spot, Sasaki was already waiting for them. That's all for today's video. Thank you all for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to catch the next parts. Forever in my heart.